this is amazing. It's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the fishies!
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan de Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. There's Michael Culture that's got around Dylan de Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cullaghar's got past, so Dylan...
light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Looks like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan de Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes. As the safety car pulls in and we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the fishies, any of the piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're off.
First lap. Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons.
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. It's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanek and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we get the good run. Dodd's just absolute thinker, but it is a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the SRWtv Round 5 Oran Park, presented by Motorsport Australia Formula V Nationals. I am James JP Parfitt, and I'm joined in the booth by Andrew Cowie Cowan here as well. He's going to be alongside me once more for what will be, I'm sure, an absolutely epic evening of racing. It's a sad day as well, guys. We have come to a circuit that is no longer existing. Oran Park shut down in 2010 and is now a housing estate, which we can all just sit back and go boo, as we have lost a great motor circuit here as well. But yes, it did shut down in 2010, but it was open from 1962 through to 2010 and had some great racing on it. It's now a housing estate. People now live where there was action all the way through the years here at Oran Park. It's such a shame to lose a motor circuit to a housing developer, but we did, and it was lost in 2010. So if some of you were born after that, you're older than this circuit. It held touring cars. The Australian Touring Car Championships were held here as well. It was just absolutely iconic for its day, but it is no longer iconic. But what can we do? Absolutely nothing. Standings currently at the moment, though, as we've got him. Caleb Balick is out in front by literally about 30 points at the moment, as he's on 352 with Sam Chapman on 328, so that is actually 24 points. So Scott Pocock in third with 322, with Jason Madden on 308 and Adrian Loretti on 296. Jace Douglas on 276 with Darren Fahey 266. Dean Sinkovich on 248 with John Schultz on 246 and Peter Ziedler on 240. That is your top 10 as we have got them here this evening as well. Thank you so much for joining us on the SRWtv YouTube channel. Hit the like, subscribe, turn on the bells, and do all that other fancy jazz that you can do completely for free on YouTube. And then we'll get this racing up and running. But I'm going to bring my brother in arms, my battler into battle, my sideman, my maverick. No, my Iceman to me, Maverick. It is Mr. Cowie. Cowie, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Going pretty good, buddy. Getting nostalgic. You're talking about Oran Park and the housing estate that it now is. It's just unfortunate. You know, it becomes prime real estate at some point, doesn't it? And the track just unable to sustain itself financially to keep going. All we can hope, buddy, is that there's some kids living in that housing estate that are still racing around in billy carts and their push bikes and, you know,
soap boxes. Yeah, soap boxes or whatever they've made out of cardboard or wood or whatever they've put together. There's got to be a history stoop there just on the outskirts of Sydney. It was at the time when it was up and running, of course. But, yeah, it's no longer here as well. The interesting thing about this is the variation that we're going on, Cowie, that we're running what would be classed as Oran Park full circuit. That's the one with that loop at the bottom where you go over the bridge. Now, I've driven that circuit and I've driven it in a TCR, and it's not the most easiest thing to be driving, to be honest, a TCR in general, but driving that's the full Grand Prix circuit is even harder, and I think they've got their work cut out here. You know, it's not easy, and I was sat on a lap earlier on and literally it was just third, fourth, and that was it, because it can be taken at such high speeds, this circuit, that literally there was no need to drop down any gears anywhere.
It's a track that is actually well suited to these cars. V8 supercars are always a bit of a handful around here, but the Formula Vs, as you said, they're going to probably sit in third and fourth for most of this. But it's really the big heavy braking zone at the start here. It's really easy to get the car sideways. We keep an eye on them, not going through the kink, but the next part of the braking zone for turn 2. that's when you see the cars sliding, and we're going to see drivers right on the edge of the grip here sliding the car out as they try and fly around this corner.
Yeah, they are. We're on with Scott Pocock at the moment as he goes through turn 2. He's going to be under the bridge and then coming out the other side there as well is Scotty. Now we're going into what was the left-hander, the right-hander, and then we're going around the loop, of course, which will take us all the way through over the Yokohama Bridge. There we go, we're over the top. And now across the other side for that run up into Foster's Dip, which is just about now. You can obviously tell why it dips down there. Then round the left-hand corner. This is Momo corner at the end before we go through the O'Brien and aluminium dogleg as well, which is this part here. You just straighten the car up, aim, point, shoot, because it is completely blind before we go into Recaro corner, the last part of the racetrack, and that is it. Your lap is done, and now you are running once more on this very difficult circuit here as well. There is some very interesting corners. Now, I personally can't imagine taking a V8 supercar around here. I would look at, you know, a Clio or the Formula V or the Formula Fords or MX-5s even. I couldn't imagine anything bigger than them, though, running around this circuit, Cowie, to be honest.
It is a tight track for the bigger cars, but, you know, for the V8 supercar around here, it's all about being able to get on the power earlier than your opponent. You can maybe get a run up the inside. There's, you know, once you get to the chicanes around the back section, it's all about flow, and especially with these Formula Vs, it'll be similar. You'll see the momentum that they'll try and get out of that final left-hander before they sweep in, you know, for the final section of the track. They're going to look to try and get on the tail of the guy in front so they can make a dive at the last corner under brakes as they come up the hill.
Yeah, absolutely. Di Feldman's just coming out over the line to complete her time. She goes in 6th at the moment on a 1:22.946. So a good job there from Di. Getting a time on the board. Jackson Domain is another one as well. It's just be going over the line. When has he got time? He hasn't got a time there again. Now the championship leader, Mr. Caleb Bellick, the Iceman himself as such, Cowie. Well, I don't know. He just seems unstoppable this season, really.
So far, he still hasn't put in a lap as yet. One thing we have seen here, the car's trying to carry a lot of momentum through those chicanes, so the off-tracks are maybe something these guys would need to keep an eye on. Do we know how many they get for the races? Is it 17 or 25?
Yeah, normal, yeah. But I think for us, Caleb Bellick has just put a lap on there, Cowie, on a 1:19.5 so he does got a lap on the board. Chao Filo goes into 7th. We've got some Miles Bond, John Shaw's, Kevin Wakefield, all setting times currently at the moment. So yeah, they're going to have to be they're going to have to be quite shrewd with their off tracks, I think, this week, because as you say, they don't get many, and they've got to make sure that they're recovering and making sure they're not making silly mistakes there as well. Sheepy's in YouTube chat. Good luck to all the drivers on tonight. Looking forward to the return next week. Yeah, it should be an absolutely blinding one, I'm sure, as Caleb Bellick does go over the line very, very shortly as well. We are at Oran. We go to Summit Point next week, guys, and then Lime Rock, and then we're off to the Charlotte Legends RC long course. And then we finish the season off at Tsukuba. Some great little short circuits for these guys as well. We can't imagine putting a Formula V at Spa, though, Cowie, can we?
Will be interesting, though. I think these cars will just be, again, one of those cars that going down through Eau Rouge and rallying down right there. I reckon you're going to be trying to put your foot through the floor of your sim, trying to get more speed out of it.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I guarantee that. I don't think it'd be like the old days. Back in the old days, I don't know if anybody played pole position racing. It was called at the time. We had it over here, and literally you can just keep your foot on the pedal and just turn left and right, and you'd make it round every corner without any problems. I reckon the Formula V's could do that at Spa. Just keep your foot on.
Pretty close to it.
Yeah,
I could just see the draft pass and then getting past again before the braking zone and then tugging down the long straight. So
I don't even
we're going to see the toe.
Yeah,
the toe might have an effect here, buddy, as well. But yeah, a place like Spa, I think they're going to be passing each other 3 times down the straight.
Yeah, and I reckon you could take Lacombe at about, what do they get to, about 110? If that slight little lift, steer it in through Lacombe, off outside the other side of Marmody. Might have to brake for Rivage a little bit, but no name would be no name would be flat. Oran would be flat. Bagné, again, possibly a little lift just to get it down a few little miles an hour. Out through Paul Ferrer, that would be flat. Blanchimont would be flat. The only part that you might have to brake for is the bus stop. But then again, you'd probably still go around that at 3rd gear. And now on the run down the straight, La Source, possibly turn 1, might be another one. But if you go it wide enough, I'm sure you can probably bury it full speed round there, to be fair. And then off through Elrose around. I don't think they would have to brake at all, Cowie, to be honest.
I know that they will definitely not use anything lower than 3rd gear.
No.
We've seen, so even on these tracks, you're very reluctant to try and use 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all about momentum. You'll see them try to take wide lines where they can. We've seen, a few different driving strategies amongst the guys there, and sort of varying successes across the field, because different corners, you've got to take them differently. Good to see Sam Chapman up here on the top at the moment. I was also pleased to see Scott Pocock back near the front, because he's had a couple of poor rounds where he's got caught up sort of mid-pack. So good to see him showing some pace and up the front as well.
Yeah, he's sitting in 2nd at the moment is Pocock. However, when we flick to him, he's sat on the side of the road there. Miles Bond is in there in 4th with Daniel Byrne. Of course, we know Daniel in the red livery. We see him in the GR86s as well for that Carlins Motorsport. Once again, Dave Roberts is out on track. John Schultz. Not seeing any Jace Douglas this week.
Yeah, no word from Ray in the chat either at the moment.
No.
I'm not sure if boys are away or not.
Yeah, where are you, Mr. Douglases?
He was in the chat on Sunday's race, I believe. V8's talking about coming back in next season, so I don't know if he's had some commitments this week and is away.
Don't know.
But it's a smaller field tonight than we've had for the last couple of weeks.
What commitment?
16, 17 cars out on track.
What commitment is worth overriding a Formula V race at Oran Park? It's like a home Grand Prix for all of them drivers. They all should be here.
I know. It's a roller coaster in a V8 supercar. I'm sure it's just as much fun in these things. You can probably push it. These cars.
I love it how you don't even give them a definition, Cowie, of what they are. You turn around and said these things. You know what I mean? You say about
with wheels.
Yeah, you say about the V8 supercars. You didn't put cars on these, did you? You put these poor little cars. Didn't even get put into a category there, Cowie. You just went things. Yeah, they're literally a cow trough, not cut in half. Literally, just cut the driver's bit out and then stuck bits hanging off them. They're an open-wheeled beginner's class car, I think. This is probably not far from your step-ups away from go-karts. I think you'd probably have more fun in these than you probably would in some of the higher Formula Series, to be honest. But I think you've got to look at the perspective of it. This is the beginning pathway to open-wheelers within iRacing, right? And they're bringing out the new Delara. It's coming out on Wednesday. Don't forget the update is Wednesday, and I will stress to you, and I've been warning everybody in on every broadcast I've been in, set your computer, because I can tell you now that update is going to be massive. And if you've got pigeon internet like I have, and trust me, a carrier pigeon goes faster than my internet, I have to make sure it's set, ready to go. So just a word of warning to all of you wonderful people out there, that when the update's done around about 8 to 9 p.m. probably, I've got a funny feeling they're not going to get it done before then, make sure that in the morning for you lot in the wonderful world of Australia, you set your computer up before you go to work, because this is going to be at least a 10 gig update on Wednesday with a Tempest system coming in as well. So just be aware there, Cowie. If you've got pigeon internet like me, buddy, turn your computer on before you go to work.
Yeah, I've got issues with it at the moment, but that's more for my upload. But yeah, I think it'll be the same thing. It's going to be a big, massive update. Everyone can't wait to go out there on rain, and I reckon the servers are just going to be wet as all the time. Hosted races it's just going to be rain, and more rain.
Absolutely. But it's the thing is as well, I've got a funny feeling what they don't want to do is they don't want to make the first week 13 fun events in rain to a degree. They're obviously going to want to showcase the system, right? That's obvious. When you get something new and shiny, you want to show it off to everybody. You know, we do it as human beings. When we get, I don't know, it could be a new pair of socks. We'll wear them and then flash them off to our friends as we're out or something. Look at my socks. You know, so iRacing are clearly going to want to show that off this week. And I think it's just going to be somewhat chaotic, somewhat hectic. And if you're in the right car, I think it could be a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
Isn't it linked? They're trying to link it to real world simulation as well, so that
yeah,
I don't know if it's linked to the simulated computers and all that, but they're basically going to be using that data so that Tempest, you know, will follow, you know, sort of the way the weather is in the real world at that time. So whether or not that means that you can backdate a race, you know, to a hurricane event.
Well, I don't know if you could probably backdate it to Great Britain in 1986, Cowie. I'm not quite sure if that's the thing with it. But I think if they're going to be reflective of real life, I think what you could just sit there and basically have like we've got now, right? You can either pick one of their sessions for heat racing, or you can make your own. And it'll be the same scenario. I think with the Tempest system, I'm not saying it has because I haven't looked at the whole system properly, but it will just be real world, or you'll have sub options which would be 100%, 90%, 80% for instance, or very heavy, full flooded, light drizzle, something like that. I don't think they can overcomplicate the Tempest system because people aren't then going to look to use it. Do you know what I mean? Because if you make something overcomplicated, you try and set it up, after about 5 minutes of screaming your head off, you give up because you just can't do it. Do you know what I mean? So I think going forward, they've got to make it easily accessible for people here as well. So see how it goes. Coming into the last minute and a bit here of qualifying, Sam Chapman sitting on pole at the moment on a 1:19.07 or 0:69 if you want to be precise. Scott Pocock 1:19.441, 1:19.444, 1:19.563 there for Bond, and then Dan Byrne on a 1:19.564. So still very close at the top here, Cowie. I reckon this is going to be a classic.
It is going to be a great race, and talking on the rain, there's already been some content creators that have had some early access, which they're showing. It's looking pretty darn good, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't get early access, Cowie. Did you get early access?
No, I don't have nearly enough subscribers to get early access. So, but
I
there's
didn't
already
either.
a couple of videos from the bigger content creators on YouTube, and they all seem to be pretty impressed with the realism of the way the water behaves and the way the puddles are, and how you've got to sort of break off line away from the rubbered in sections because that's going to be slipperier. Just all of that sort of stuff, the nuances that they've been screening for. And hoping that iRacing has. Well, you know, the early word is that they've nailed it.
Well, there we go. Let's see. It's taken, I don't know, 12 years. So,
like that, isn't it? 2008 it came out, buddy. 15 from its initial inception.
Yeah, long time. So there we go. Let's get the grid up now as well. Sam Chapman is your pole man with Dave Roberts in second, with Scott Pocock in third, Caleb Bellick in fourth, Miles Bond fifth, Dan Byrne in sixth, Johnny Schultz in seventh, Bradley Cheney in eighth, Dean Sinkovich ninth, Graham Dooley is in 10th with Charles Filo in 11th and Martin Walker in 12th. On from that one, Di Feldman 13th, Mike Rush 14th, Kevin Wakefield 15th, Stephen Sinkovich 16th, Ben Simpson 17th, Tyson McAvoy is RC in, I believe, with Jackson Domain and Thomas Freeman there as well. So, yeah, it's been a long while, but if they buried it and it's right, then I'm sure everybody will be happy, right? Because that's how it works, right? The community demands something, and people are happy when it comes out, yeah?
They said they had it ready for the previous season, but they didn't want to affect the Daytona 24. So perhaps they want to have, the Tempest system and rain sort of in the system for a year before, you know, the really big events are starting to affect it. You know, the Bathurst 24, the Daytona 24, sorry, Bathurst 12, Daytona 24, those sort of races.
Yes, exactly. But do we think you're on the borderline of we demand, we want, we get, we moan? That what we're going to be perceiving, right?
Is there going to be people out there that are going to say that it's crap or that, you know, it hasn't lived up to its expectations? I'm sure there's always naysayers out there and people that want to take the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
But early on, you know, I know the 3 or 4 content creators that I saw all gave it a positive review. So, and, you know, a couple of them sort of real world races as well as sim races of decent I rating.
Fair play.
Now, there was
Ray Douglas has entered the fray today already. Come on, Steve-O, you need a hairdryer bolted on the VW flatback. I'm not quite sure where that ended up or how we got there, to be honest. Ray.
Now, I think was it Ben Simpson has been giving a pit lane start. I heard one other one out there as well. I'm not sure who that was.
Well, he's on the grid here,
I
bud.
mentioned it earlier.
So he's on the grid at the moment.
He's probably going to get a black. He's probably going to get a back flag then, because I think I heard them call it out.
Well, unfortunately, he's there.
Well, if he stays on the grid, it's likely he'll get a black flag. But we'll leave that for race control to deal with, buddy. Getting close to the start here. Caleb Bellac. He's been controlling pretty much all of these races so far. He gets to the front. You know, starting P5, though, tonight.
P4. Do you know the weirdest thing is? Once you get past P1 and P2... Oh, no, not even that. P2's not even in the grid box. P3 isn't. P4, P6, P8.
Staggered.
Right, here we go. Lights are going to be coming on now. Sam Chapman is on that pole position. What is he going to be able to do? Race 1 is up and running, and we are green here at Oran Park as these guys go rushing down into turn 1 through the sweeper, which is the left-hander just about now. And it's still Chapman, Roberts, Pocock, Bellick as they were. Daniel Burns up 1, Schultz is up 1, Cheney's up 1, Dooley's up 2, Martin Walker's up 3. Everybody is getting through. What's happening at the back of the field? This is Steven Sinkovich. He's going to make it through there as Jackson Domain alongside him here currently. Sam Chapman out in front. Bellick is making moves on the outside round past Dave Roberts. He gets the job done as well. Bellick has set himself a challenger going 4th to 1st in the first lap. Well, he's near enough there already as he's up 2 places. Caleb Bellick sitting in 2nd. Great start for some. Cowie, good job for everybody else.
Yeah, look, Dave Roberts got a really good start there, but I think he just caught offline and got swamped by Caleb. And I think Scott Pocock has got through there as well. You can see a big lineup of cars behind. Sorry, Sam and Caleb got through. Scott's behind him at the moment. There's about 4 or 5 cars there really putting pressure on him. So yeah, maybe just got caught out a little bit. Or Steve and Dean Sinkovich have had a moment in the background too, buddy, by the looks of it.
Oh, they haven't hit each other, have they? Oh, my dearie, giddy me. There they are. They have. Oh, they both did it. It was like it was show brotherly support there, Cowie, as both of them spun together.
Synchronised.
Yeah. Right, Steve, you spin, I'll spin. So there we go.
Caleb Bellac already on the back of Sam Chapman. These guys have had some great battles already so far in this series, and they're at it again. But Caleb getting it done up the inside fairly easy. Sam not closing the door. So maybe it's... is this going to be another situation where you need to sit in behind somewhere and save some fuel to get home?
Surely it can't be on a 1:25 lap, right? You can't. If we're 1:58, 1:59, 2 minutes at Laguna and other longer circuits, I can't see this being a fuel-saving race. You got 20 minutes. You're doing 1:25. No, it can't be. Because
I don't think so.
No, the reason I say it can't be is Bellick would be fuel saving behind Chapman now. He's done it every race, hasn't he? He slots into second and just sits there. So I don't think it is. But Dave Roberts, unfortunately, is a cork in a bottle here with Pocock, Burns, Schultz and Cheney running right up behind him.
There's a good little battle back here. We've seen time and time again the toe. They say it doesn't look like it's going to be much, but it matters. And the slipstream, you can see get 2, 3, 4 cars together, and the racing is awesome because you've got room. They're a little car, so the tracks that might be hard for a supercar, you can go 2 or 3 wide in these little things, and it just creates great action every Monday night here on SRWtv.
Yeah, absolutely, and they do. These Formula Bs never, ever really not ever deliver, and that's the thing as well. It's been some great action with Martin Walker and Dooley further down the order. This is a battle for 8th and 9th, and then we've got Schultz, Pocock, Byrne, Roberts and Chapman there as well. So some great action from all of these guys. Some great fighting already, and I'm sure we will have more. Everybody below about 10th though, Cowie, is a little bit more spread out, aren't they? 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 12 seconds. Steve Sinkovich is back in the pits. Oh, again. Here as well, not to compound the Sinkovich misery, but what did he get up to there? I want that one. As well as coming around turn 1. Is he going to get caught? Oh, he's not going to get caught up on us. Oh, no! Oh!
It has. Was there a tangle there? Who was that with? Ben Simpson, was it?
There was some confusion about who's going to go into the pits here, Gowie. I think this is the problem. He's trying to get in the green car, comes over, goes to pull in.
He is.
And then, unfortunately, our good friend, Mr. Netcode, rears its ugly head, and they end up getting stuck together. But Sam Chapman now fighting it, trying to catch up to the back of Caleb Bellick. Dave Roberts is trying to escape down the road like a scolded cat, as they're coming in now as well through Champion Curve, off that run over the Yokohama Bridge here. But still quite a while to go in these cars.
Daniel Byrne having a nice run here as he's is he up a couple of spots? Yeah, he's up a couple of spots at the moment. Ben Simpson's been given a black flag. I don't know if it was for that incident or a previous one he was involved with, or the fact that he started on the grid rather than pit lane. But Daniel Byrne putting a lot of pressure on Dave Roberts here at the moment. Dave settled in. He got caught by Caleb there on lap 1 and got run wide and almost sort of gave up another spot to Scott Pocock. But now Daniel's come through and putting the pressure on Dave Roberts. Scott Pocock is back there with Schultz, and is that Cheney behind him? So these guys are still sort of placing themselves. It's still a little bit of chess at the moment, only 5 minutes into this race.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You've got to be realistic on the scenario, haven't you? You know, you're 5 minutes in of a 20-minute race. There is really no need. Obviously, it's a bit different for Chapman and Bellick because they're at the front, right? As Chapman's just about to try and go around the outside at the moment. He's not going to make that work, unfortunately. Oh, he is. Go, Sam Chapman. Eat your words, JP. I can tell you, stick him in a bun and eat him like your dinner. So there we go. Sam Chapman did made it round the outside. Great job from him as he runs off now into the Foster's dip. So, yeah, fair play to Sam Chapman. Caleb Bellick still going to come at him. Yeah, everybody's closing up behind him. That's what I was just about to say there as well. Everybody is getting closer now to these two because of their battling up front.
Well, Daniel Byrne has got the pass done on Dave Roberts as well there because that battle was going good, and at the moment he's jumped out about half a second. But as you said, Caleb and Sam fighting hard here, and when you start to see cars fighting, that means that everyone else behind gets a chance to catch up, because if you fight, you're losing pace.
Yeah, absolutely. You are right. And it has caught Daniel Byrne, it's given Daniel Byrne a chance to catch up as well, as he's coming now again into round that sweeper, the left-hander, before you come into Coca-Cola corner at the bottom end of the race circuit here as well. Or could be somebody's garden about now, to be honest, that you're going through. But now we've got these bunches of cars, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all going to be vying for this front here as well. Who's your money on?
I think it's got to be with Caleb Bellick. He's the one that's shown the pace so far, and he'd be the odds bookies favourite. And if we were gambling here, but there's a lot of hungry wolves behind him too, and plenty of people, you know, to knock him off that top perch. We do have a cultural phenomenon here in Australia where the tall poppy syndrome, we like to sort of trim them down a little bit, so I'm sure there's more than a few racers out there looking to, you know, get one up on Caleb.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. You've got to try it. The thing is, you can look realistically at going at Caleb, and that's the thing as these guys are coming off down the start-finish straight. We've got Chapman, Bellick, Byrne, Roberts, Pocock, Schultz. Cheney's just dropping off a little bit. You've got to think around who your fight is, right? And that's how racing is. You've got to sit back and go, I'm not in your fight, you go through. As unfortunately there, Sam Chapman has a little bit of a blink, as you can see Dave Roberts trying to have a go with Byrne around the outside here. Is they going to make it through? They're almost too wide. Byrne is not only going to lose out one position, he's going to lose out two as well, because I've got a funny feeling Pocock's going to try and get him once again. He did as he's coming round the shell corner. Now we go off to Champions Curve. Pocock's now pushed out the outside. He gets put down the order a little bit as well. Byrne gets back through. Schultz is in there once more. He's going around the right-hander. Now they're on the run up through into Yokohama Bridge here, the blind apex. And if you don't know what we mean by blind, well, it is pretty much blind. There's a couple of blind corners on here. One of them is this one. One of them is the O'Brien aluminium dogleg there as well, where they can't actually see where they're going. And we'll give you an idea of what that looks like now as they're coming round Momo corner, the left-hander. Onto the gas, you can see third gear. Now this is it. If you're sat in the car, you can't see what's over that. You know you've just got to aim it to the right-hand side of the tree. There you go. And you go through, so it is completely blind. Coming into 10 minutes now, it's Bellick, Chapman, Roberts, Byrne, Pocock, and Schultz.
That's a great couple of laps there, just two by side battling. The guys trying to make position. You see one guy making a move and it costing him two positions. You can see here they're all snaking down, trying to stay in that draft and the toe. And Cheney at the back here, he's just got a nice, decent view of the shenanigans going on in front of him. And as the timer ticks down, I think we're going to start to see some bolder attempts at moves from these gentlemen.
Yeah, coming into the final 10 minutes there as well. Pocock's alongside at the moment. Him and Dan Byrne, or no, it was Roberts, sorry. Roberts and Byrne going at it again. They've swapped places quite a lot over this one. We've got Dave past Daniel, Daniel past Dave, Dave past Daniel, Bellick past Chapman, Schultz past Pocock, Pocock past Schultz, Roberts past Chapman, and then Chapman past Roberts. So, and that's just over the last two laps. So there we go. What's it going to be like? It's like a roller coaster, up, down, up, down, up, down. Yes, Ray, I do agree with you on that. Be interested when iRacing brings the rain online. It will sort out the dry track cowboys from the experienced race drivers. Hey, I reckon on my first day, I could get my license right up there.
It's one of those things. I think safety rating is going to be the issue when rain comes out there, not your I rating. But look, I think we're all looking forward to it. So far, the early word is that it looks good and it feels good. More importantly, it feels realistic to the drivers. You know, those guys that have got the early access and given it a go so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be amazing there as well. And there has been plans, Cowie, for a league as well. I can't tell you much more information at the moment, but I know of a league that's coming that's going to be quite fun, I think.
We'll be set in hurricane temperature, hurricane weather.
I think that's basically going to be the case. I think it will be like testing out every kind of rain feature along the season. So I don't think you're going to come into a dry track at all. But that's what happens when you give JP the rain button. So, hey, if you want to put me in charge of rain, that's what's going to happen here. So, Charpilo down the order in 11th, battling away with Martin Walker. And then we've still got the John Schultz, Pocock, Byrne, Roberts, Chapman, Bellick battle as these guys are continually fighting it out there as well. So, some great action taking place here. And I think it's really kind of showing without 8 minutes to get to go what people of Sydney, Australia are going to miss with this circuit. The fact that it's not there anymore.
They always do. look, they already do. I mean, you know, the one thankful thing we can have is that iRacing was able to scan it before it disappeared. Unfortunately, the same is happening to Fukuoka in New Zealand, but iRacing got out there and scanned that, so we're probably going to lose that track as well, I think, to housing developments.
Yeah.
But it will be captured, so we'll have it for antiquity as far as virtually goes.
Absolutely. I think you can never save your local track, because one person don't make a difference, right? Generally, that's how it works in the world. You need to be a multiple group, don't you? As Dave
exactly.
Roberts.
Well, it needs to be able to cater for, multiple things. I mean, these days, events are sort of struggling to draw people. I sort of don't put it down to internet dating, but things like that do mean that we, can find connections of that in other means nowadays. That before you had to go out and meet people and socialise, and nowadays that you can do that from your bedroom, really.
Yeah, nowadays it was out the house at 8:30 on a Saturday, and we didn't come home till the lights come on. And if we weren't home when the lights come on, we couldn't sit down for the next week. So, you needed to make sure you were home when the street lights come on back in my day. Otherwise, Dad was standing at the door waiting aplenty there once again. But now it's all over the internet, PlayStations, PCs, and the birth of technology revolution, unfortunately, made a lot of kids stay at home who probably are allergic to the sunlight. So there we go. But we've got lap 11.
We say that. Yeah, we say that, buddy, but when you think about it, we're sitting here watching some virtual racing, so all of these guys are in their houses at the moment. So the other side of technology is that it does enable us to race with people all around the world.
Yeah.
I remember talking to a gentleman in Israel that warned everyone about the bomb raid siren, so if that goes off, he has to leave the race immediately.
I know that guy.
Oh well, I also a different medium, but I was in a game with a Russian that could barely hear us because his flatmate was running the motorbike to warm up the house.
Does anybody else see the problem with that? Or is it just me that realises that fumes could be an issue?
When it's cold, I don't think they cared.
Well, no, but what's the point of running a bike in a house, spitting out fumes that you've got to open the window for?
Well, I suppose if you've got the bike pointing towards the window, it might mitigate it, but yeah. Look, it's one of those things. Right? I mean, I just mean the people that you encounter, and I mean, culture's different around the world, but in the end, being able to connect with people across the internet, we truly are, a globalised world at the moment, just as far as connectivity goes.
Absolutely. We are here as well, coming through the final corner once more on board with Daniel Byrne. He's chasing down Dave Roberts at this moment in time. You can see out the back now the weaving starts here only once. Come on, boys. You're not weaving jumpers. Chapman's pulled out now as well. Is he going to be able to make it through when he gets down into turn one? Is Sam Chapman. What's he going to be able to do? Can he sweep round the outside? It's going to be a brave move through the sweeper. He goes coming down into Coca-Cola corner. Chapman's going to hang it out round the outside. That's going to give him the inside, of course, for the next one. If he can stay alongside going into Shell corner, he will have the inside line. He should take that position back. Bellick's going to run him side by side with too wide, too deep at the moment through Shell corner. Now we go through the Wiggly S's here as well before we go onto Yokohama Bridge. Bellick does come out on top. Roberts is still managing to hold on along side by side with Dan Byrne at the moment. They're swapping backwards and forwards already 4 times. They've swapped places. Now it's going to be number 5. Roberts has got the inside line. Oh, he slots in behind Byrne. Byrne manages to hang it out there as well, but great little bit of action on that little bit of the circuit.
These guys are flowing fast here, trying to keep all their momentum. They're running right to the edge of the track limits, racking up the 1Xs, I'm sure, but it's all about positioning yourself here coming into the last 3 minutes of this race. So well, we're talking maybe 3 laps. So you've really got sort of this one left to get yourself in, you know, a spot where you can attack on that last lap, maybe last 2 laps.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's the thing. You've got to be in position. These 4 guys are in that position. Pocock's kind of hanging on at the moment. He's got the anchor thrown out of his little Formula V on the back of Dave Robinson's car. He's trying to get pulled along to make sure he can stay with it. Chapman and Byrne go at it again. Once more here into Shell Corner. Slight little bit of contact. Bellick manages to hold on. Chapman going around the right hander manages to take the lead now. We're not going to have many laps left. We could be on the final lap by the time we come round this time. We're going to see Barney waving as these guys wiggle up through into the Yokohama Bridge. Over the other side of the circuit we go on that figure 8 part here, which is one of the very few circuits in the world that has that figure 8 there as well. Ty Delaney, welcome into YouTube chat there, buddy. Go boys, they are going. These 5 cars coming down now, going to be starting the last lap as they go round Momo Corner, up through the O'Brien dogleg, the right hander where you do literally point it at a tree and hope for the best you've got the right one, because if you pick the wrong tree, well, you're on the grass. So they've got to make sure they're pointing it at the right one. Now down the hill they go, the other side, into the final corner here as well, through Ricaro. It's going to be the final lap. We're going to see Barney is going to be waving once more here as well. There he is on the left-hand side. Final lap of the race. This could be 1 of 5 here, Cowie. Who's your money on out of these 5?
I think Bellack's in the right spot. He's going to make a move up here into T2. His mission does seem to be the person who can sort of make the most out of this corner, and the next one has got the right of way. For the running wide there, Sam Chapman. I don't know if he was avoiding contact. Bellack ran him wide, or just, you know, a little mistake, but wow. And now Byrne right on the back of him as well, so a tiny little mistake maybe, and puts him right in the firing line of P3 at the moment, Daniel Byrne.
Yeah, he does at the moment, but can he get on? He hasn't got long. He's got a few corners to go. We've got literally 4 on the track where these guys can make this difference. What's Chapman going to do? What's Byrne going to do? What's Bellick going to do? It's between these 3 mighty warriors on this racetrack. It's these 3 mighty cars going for it once more as they're coming round now. They're going through the dogleg. Point, shoot, hope for the best. Over the curve they go, coming into Ricaro Corner. Last corner on Chat. What Chapman's going to do, he's going to try and run him around the outside. But has he just opened himself up to Dan Byrne? Is it going to come down to the line? Byrne's going to get him. It's going to be Bellick. It's going to be Byrne. It's going to be Chapman taking the 1, 2, 3. Chapman with that one mistake on the final corner there, Cowie. And Byrne come right up the inside and got him.
Oh, I think he was trying to get a big slingshot there at the last corner, but you know, Daniel was in the right spot to carry some good momentum through the corner, gets it done as well. So great driving from all 3 of those guys. Again, I reckon when we talk to these guys tonight, after the second race, you're going to hear them all talk about not getting a break out there. It was just constant battles.
Yeah. Constant fighting there as well, and Wakefield is another one that's on a last lap shootout with Dean Sinkovic here, and a great job from Dean as he comes over the line ahead of Kevin Wakefield, and we're just waiting for Jackson Domain. He's going to be coming over the line as well. Well, that's race 1 down, buddy, and they've done a great job.
With some awesome racing there. I mean, I was gobsmacked there in the middle when they were 2, 3 wide, 3 deep, battling for the front. I mean, we were watching a, you know, 1st to 7th, nose to tail, you know, halfway through the race. Towards the end, the fast guys were able to extend that time a little bit more, but, you know, for a long time there, those battles was just bringing everyone together. Great to see.
It was into a 5-minute warm-up as well. Don't forget, guys, if you are watching at home, like the broadcast, drop us a comment down in the comment section as well. Let us know what you thought of the racing. Let us know what you thought of me and Cowie, and well, you know, hopefully it's love, and thanks, boys, you've done amazing. Otherwise, don't leave a comment. We don't want
Ty Delaney out there did say go boys. I know I had a good race. Ty had a good race last night. I think finished P2 in the Pro-Am last night. So definitely showing his pace in the I think he did Scops as well for the second split, and had some good fun there. Said it was a bit chaotic though.
Yeah, it definitely was, I'm sure, there again. But some great action from here. And that's the thing, these drivers drive in multiple series, don't they? And I think that's the thing. They've got to look at being able to be quick in multiple cars. And it's not always easy when you're swapping backwards and forwards for other series.
A few of the F3 open wheelers have come over. They were missing a few names tonight. There's no Adrian Loretti and was it Daniel Byrne's teammate as well. So sort of missing. There's probably 4 or 5 names that were missing tonight. So unfortunately, unable to free up their Monday nights or their Monday mornings in your case, JP.
Yeah, absolutely. Monday morning bright and early. Kids off to school. Dad goes to work. I've got to thank my kids really as well and my wife for yesterday, because yesterday was a bit busy for me. I did 6 broadcasts, one after the other, right the way through till about 4 o'clock this morning as well. And my poor little kids were like, is Dad at home? And Mum was like, he's working. Is Dad at home? He's working. Is Dad at home?
I'm surprised you've got a voice.
I haven't really, Cowie.
That,
mate, that's why I sound growly than normal, to be honest. I haven't really got one. Dave Gallo, welcome in. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you, or good morning, depending on where you are in the world, of course. But yeah, welcome in, Dave. Thank you so much. Where are you? Anyway, have you given up racing, Dave? Aren't you in the GR86 with Daniel?
Dave's one of our regular racers as well, though we haven't seen him out on track quite as much of late. Real world does tend to get into the road of sim racing sometimes. It's great to have you with us, Dave.
Absolutely.
A big call out for Daniel Byrne. Let's go. I know Dave's been showing his pace in the F3s on a Wednesday night as well, Daniel's teammate. And I've missed the last couple of weeks, buddy. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm probably going to miss this week as well. This is my brother's birthday, and he's invited everyone to probably the best steakhouse in Brisbane, the Morrison. So I think I might have to have a good steak on Wednesday night and watch the racing on my phone.
Ooh. Well, there you go. Cowie, why? Hold on a minute. Stop, right? Why are you going to go out for a steak at one of the best steakhouses in Brisbane and watch V8 supercars at the table?
Well, no, it's not V8s. V8s is Tuesday night, the F3s.
Oh, F3s. Why are you doing? Why?
I have to try and keep an eye. Well, it might be sneakily on the lap or anything, but yeah, I mean, I'll be probably getting the bacon wrapped eye fillet. So I like my steaks medium, but yeah, it'll be the bacon wrapped eye fillet that the Morrison does. Pricey. It's pretty goddamn awesome.
I'm sure it is, but I certainly wouldn't be there to watch racing. I would ignore that for a night. Pricey, what kind of steak do you like, Cowie? Is your go-to?
You got to try the bacon wrapped eye fillet, because it is crazy good out there. But yeah, look, I don't mind a decent rump, but remember, bacon makes everything taste better. When steak already tastes good, then you're just looking at the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, so I'm more of a medium rare, you know what I mean? I think the problem is you go to so many restaurants and they've all got different variations of medium, medium rare, rare, well done, medium well, and char grilled off to oblivion. So I generally order it one down before what I want, and if they get that right, then I know I can go back in and order me normal medium. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing worse than going to a restaurant and getting a medium in one, which is a medium, and then you go to another one and you order a medium, and you get something that's not even mooing anymore, and it's just not medium. So there we go.
That is a genuine concern for the steak connoisseurs out there, unfortunately. I think there is probably a million wives' tales of how to best cook a steak.
Oh,
and
mate, there
plenty
is.
of barbecue champions here in Australia to tell you how to do it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But here is the grid for race 2. Charles Filo will be on pole with Bradley Cheney in second and Graham Dooley in third. John Schultz in fourth with Miles Bond in fifth. Scott Pocock sixth. Dave Roberts seventh. Chapman eighth. Byrne ninth. Bellick 10th. Top 10 reverse, of course, there as well. Mike Rush and Di Feldman below that one. On from there is Dean Sinkovich, Kevin Wakefield, Martin Walker, Jackson Domain, Stephen Sinkovich, Ben Simpson there as well. So let's get this one up and running for race number 2, and hopefully we should have some more amazing racing.
It does have to be mooing and that. And I think you're right. I mean, if I like mine, you know, medium, but probably close to the medium rare. And I know we went out and had a steak last weekend, and I got a perfect medium, and my nephew ordered a medium rare, and he got a medium as well. He wasn't happy because he wanted a medium rare.
That's what I mean. Everywhere's different, and you never get one thing after another, do you?
Well, there was same restaurant, 2 steaks, one with 2 different tags in them, and they were both the same steak. So
yeah, absolutely.
If it happens.
Oh,
but
pricey.
I mean,
it's got to be still moving and making noises by the time it hits your plate. Oh. Well, you're like blue, are you? You're like a just show it the grill. Yeah, show it the grill, turn it over once and then bring it back. No. Pricey, no. Can't do that. It's got to be cooked a little bit, at least. You know, a little line off the top or something. I'm happy with that. So, just waiting for these guys to get onto the grid. And let's get them all up for race 2, the final race here.
I mean, look, it's been great action so far. Reverse top 10. We've seen, you know, the guys that get to the front, Caleb and Sam and those boys, they've got true pace in these cars. But can they get past, you know, another 7 or 8 cars that are all battling each other as well?
Well, I don't know. Can they?
I suppose they've got to try to, don't they? Well, look, I mean, they've shown this speed. We've seen Caleb has got quite a propensity so far, from what I've seen tonight, to carry a lot of speed and maybe try to sweep around the outside of these guys. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the fast guys early on look to take an outside line rather than covering the inside.
Well, we're going to find out what's going to happen here as well. Just waiting for Bradley Cheney. Mike Rush has just got on there. So just Cheney, I believe. I don't think Thomas Freeman is actually here or racing.
He's one of the race controllers. He's one of our race controllers.
We've got race control as well. So we are under red lights. We are going to be going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are going to be green once more as these guys go rushing through the sweeper, the left-hander, before they go into Coca-Cola corner. And it is Charles Filo got away at the start with Dooley, with Bond, with Schultz, with Pocock, Chapman, Byrne, Roberts there as well. Don't crash on the straight because you will not look good. I can precisely tell you that one. What's happening further back? Are they going to all make it through? Slight little bit of contact there as well. What about going on down here with Jackson Domain and Di Feldman? Mike Rush went in a little bit too hot. He's had to take a wider line as well, but Charles Filo at the moment out in front doing an absolute stellar job off through the right hander of Champions Curve before they go over the Yokohama Bridge. And at the moment, Filo, Bond, Schultz, Pocock, Dooley down 2, Pocock up 2, Schultz up 1 as well. It looks like Bond's going to go and get Charles Filo once more. He's got the job done over the bridge. So Charles Filo down into second place. Dean Sinkovich looks like he's had another moment. So is Ben Simpson here as well. On lap 1, it is currently Bond, Filo, Schultz, Pocock and Dooley, your top 5.
Was that Bradley Cheney was missing from the grid, started from the pit lane, so I think he must have picked up a pit lane start penalty from race control from an incident in race number 1.
Yeah. Unfortunately there as well. Penalties are come plenty as Dan Byrne and Caleb Bellick and Sam Chapman battle out. Dave Roberts is just dropping off a little bit, but it's Byrne and Bellick side by side going down the start-finish straight now. They're going to be going through the sweeper on the left-hander before they go into that tricky Coca-Cola corner. Through the sweeper they go. Now there's going to be a lot of wiggling under braking. They've got to get that little car stopped as well. The nose pitches in, almost scrapes the floor. Philo's hanging on for his dear life at the moment, like a climber climbing Mount Everest with one hand, as he's just about leaking positions. Of Schultz gone through, Bond's gone through. Oh, Dooley got it all a little bit Pete Tong there as well. Chapman's still making his way through. Byrne,
with Byrne then. Yeah, that was contact with Byrne, Dooley and Byrne both. You know, I don't know if it was an interlock, but there was a tump there from Bellac.
Oh, Byrne.
Yeah, I don't think that Dooley even realised that Byrne was going through there. No. But that will be one for race control to have a look at. And sometimes I'm glad I'm not a race controller, buddy. That's probably one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the last thing you want to look at is punishing somebody for a mistake they've made, but it wasn't necessarily on their point apart. You know, we saw Dooley off the side of the circuit. He was coming back on, going to the left-hand side. People were going up the inside. Byrne went to take the left-hand side and unfortunately contacted plenty because that was just the way of the world. But Dan Byrne now battling down here. He's got Di Feldman in front of him at the moment. So Di is going to either literally allow Daniel Byrne to go through, which I would thought would be a good idea because we know Byrne is a lot quicker. It looks like Philo's lost another few places. He's falling down that cliff a little finger at a time here, unfortunately. And Byrne did make it through. He got two, actually. He got Roberts in the process as well as getting Di Feldman. So Di and Dan Byrne on a bit of a march back through the field here.
Yes, well, the contact did sort of hurt Daniel's race position at the moment, but he's fighting back through hard and again putting some more pressure this time on Martin Walker. Can he hold it around the outside here? Look at getting just a bit of extra momentum. 3 wide as they come up over the hill. Oh, God. I don't know if there was contact there or they both slid out, but 3 wide coming up over the Dunlop Bridge, buddy. That was awesome to watch.
Yeah, it was a definite attempt here as well, but unfortunately for these guys, it didn't result well. You can see the initial contact here as they go over 3 wide into the corner. Never, ever, ever ends well. And they're going through the bridge. Byrne pinches, points them. And then unfortunately there was contact there after. So I've got to be honest, that looked a little bit more on Danny Byrne than anybody else there as we go back up front with Bond and Pocock and Schultz and Belek battling it out. Miles Bond's opening it up 2.2 seconds at the moment. Up the road he goes. 5 minutes on the clock.
Boys are fighting hard. Race number 1 under their belts, so now they know the track, they know what the cars are capable of, and we're seeing a few good sends here. Bits of contact. I mean, it's close racing, although it may well result in race control, you know, dealing out the long hard hammer of law. But it's one of those things that when you're battling so hard, these guys, you know, it's a risk. You know, you cause the contact. Definitely a possibility you get the penalty, but it's not stopping these guys from battling hard and really trying to race on the limit.
But that's the difference with league racing, isn't it? You can battle hard and you can get away with things because you know the people around you and what they're like to battle with. It's when you get into officials and you battle hard and then somebody decides that they want to close the door in the braking zone when you've got nowhere to go, and the only thing you're going to do is punt them off and give them an audition for Stranger Things and let them go for the upside down lead part because you punted them off that part. Do you know what I mean? So it's always difficult. However, Steve Sinkovich and Dan Byrne are finding this even more difficult here as Steve goes off. That's Dan behind. There's going to be contact coming up here. I think Steve's going to make the initial problem.
Steve's lost it.
And then Bernie.
And Byrne,
nowhere to go for Daniel Byrne. If I was him, I would at this point turn around and go, enough's enough. You can see here, Steve loses it all on his own, coming round Momo corner. He loses the back end, around he goes, and then all of a sudden, watch this. Whoop. And then we do a little bit of multiple pirouettes. And hello, Dan, how are you? So for Dan Byrne, race 2 is just getting worse and worse and worse.
It is going a little bit downhill for Dan. It's been one of those sort of seasons for him in the Formula Vs. He's having a much more consistent run in the F3s, and last week would have been round 1 of our congruent F1 championship. He was the winner of that last year, where we basically, you know, mirror the F1s, and if iRacing's got the track, well, we race that track. If they don't, then they try to find a track with similar characteristics and run the F3s that week, so that there's a series going on all year that follows the F1 championship.
Nice. Good way of doing it, that is. Good way of doing it. These four are back together. Pocock, Belek, Chapman and Schultz. Philo's just behind them as well. Philo about 5 seconds behind, and then everybody else is a little bit more spread out. Dan Byrne is down here with Ben Simpson. Hopefully again cooled down a little bit after going into the pits, is Dan Byrne, because otherwise he's just seeing mist at the moment, and red mist and red mist and red mist. So let's just see what happens here as well. Chapman, Belek, Pocock and Schultz as they battle out trying to catch Miles Bond.
At the moment, Bond's got a couple of seconds on this group here, so definitely in the box seat. Though we've seen before, you know, if the pack works together, they can make speed on a low car, much like a peloton breakaway in the Tour de France. If they work together, they can get him back. But the question is Caleb Belek and Sam Chapman going to work together? Because these guys have been battling each other for 6 rounds so far. 5 rounds, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Battling each other off, of course, once more. And then we go into Summit Point next week. Lime Rock, Charlotte and Tsukuba are your next 4 races there as well. Belek, Chapman, Pocock, Schultz losing contact just a little bit. Steven Sinkovic unfortunately is go round again. We won't compound his misery of race 2 anymore by showing any more of his unfortunate little incidents or ta-ta-tas that he's had, or just skill issues. So we won't show that. But Chapman, Belek, Pocock, Schultz, this is where the battle is here for these top 4.
Heaney given a black flag for his incident. Graham Dooley also been given a black flag. So unfortunately, to the second race getting spelt for those 2 guys, and the cars involved in the incidents as well. But the battle here is for P2 at the moment. Miles Bond doing a great job. He's extending this lead, so these guys are battling each other, and what they're doing is they're giving Bond the time to just extend and focus on the empty road in front of him.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? He's just got to, he can take his line, he can hit his braking point. He's not going to have anybody doing this, you know, where you're distracted, where you're covered, where you can't see anything. Dean Stinkovich down here with Bradley Cheney. They're battling it out further down as well. This is a battle for 12th and 13th at the moment, but unfortunately both of these guys are looking at the moment as nearly being a lap down, as the faster guys are bearing down on some of the back markers here as well. They are bearing down on Martin Walker and Dan Byrne. It's going to be a shock for Byrne if he gets lapped here, Cowie, because he was at the top, then he was in the middle, and now he's on the bottom.
Yeah, unfortunately, it happens to every proud iRacer at some point in their career where you get lapped, and maybe a bit of that hubris and ego gets deflated a little bit when it happens. But you know, you've just got to take your licks. When you know, we all make mistakes. You're pushing hard, you're racing hard. Things happen. Sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's not. But you just got to take your licks, wear it on the shoulder, and come back and hopefully learn from it. Have a better race next time.
Yeah, absolutely, because you don't want to not learn anything, right? He who learns every single mistake will be a smart man by the time he gets up into his upper echelons of age groups. So, you know, you've got to make sure that you are learning from your mistakes. Go back and watch your replays. I think that's the biggest things that people don't do, is go and watch their replays back, because at the end of the day, they come off the game and they go, it was his fault, rah, 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 rah. And like, they ain't even gone back and watched it and analysed and said that, you know, what could I have done different? Why was I losing time? Why was I losing time? And why was I involved in that incident? And that's one of the biggest things that people don't do, is reflective driving on their mistakes. And I think it should be a thing for everyone to do.
Well, it's one of the interesting things about, you know, online sim racing generally, is that there is an open channel where drivers can talk to each other in the middle of the race. Now, sometimes that will be used to let, cars through when you get your blue flag, let them through, put your lap down. Those sort of things warn them what's happening. Or maybe a track like this where if you need to pit, it's right on the racing line and you could be slowing down on the racing line and have a car go up the back of you. So maybe it's a good idea to let them know to pit. But we all know that the other side of human conversation comes out a bit when there is a live race chat. So it's another thing that race control monitors, and more than once I've gone off at someone on the radio about an incident only to look at that replay back and understand that I was probably at least as much a contributor to setting up that incident as the guy that hit me.
Yeah, I'll send you a video after this and you can tell me your opinions on the video I'll send you.
If you're going to be asked who's at fault, mate, that's why I'm not a race controller. I want to get out there and race, and these things happen, I've gone through seasons where I've picked up multiple black flags. Doesn't mean I'm a dirty driver. It just means I was probably trying a bit too hard and putting the car in wrong positions. So, I've definitely took that on board with my racing this season, and I'm getting better results.
As blatant goes there, Cowie, I don't think I need to really review who was at fault. But Sam Chapman, Caleb Bellick and Pocock are battling away, and Miles Bond, bless him, has just literally bolted off like a rocket. He got out, he got up 4 places at the start, and he said, "See you later, I'm on my bike, you lot carry on." And this is exactly what Chapman, Bellick and Pocock are doing. Burns trying to battle away with Marty Walker. This is the initial ta-ta-ta they've had previously. So Burns going to go and try and sweep around the outside of the sweeper here. And he does get it done this time around. Bellick, Pocock and Chapman still going at it here as we're going into the last 7 minutes here, Cowie.
It took a couple of tenths out of Bond the lap before. Chapman taking half a second out of him that lap, so the gap's now down to about 2 seconds. So these guys are maybe starting to sort of, knuckle down and at least focus on catching Miles. I wouldn't be, these guys will certainly take an advantage of a mistake from the car in front, but it looks at the moment Caleb just content to stay in behind Sam and maybe try and push him along.
Yeah, absolutely, I would as well. Ben Simpson and Martin Walker just looks like they may have had a little bit of contact. It looks like that possibly Martin Walker did it all on his own here. As he's hit the curb to start off with, and then he's just looking like he's coming, I believe, down into Foster's dip. It is, and he's just gone round, unfortunately for him. Yeah, not a good second race either for Martin Walker after the pinch point 3 wide. But if you are going to go 3 wide, expect the unexpected, shall we say?
It's a funny section, that too, of the track where basically the rear just getting a bit beyond him. They're carrying a little bit too much speed in, and we've seen it time and time again. It's little tyres, although these things aren't super fast, the fact that they're small shells, light cars on little tyres means they slide around a lot. And that's really where you need to sort of try and hone your driving to be faster in these things. Get used to driving it where the car is sliding and you're using that slip angle, because it's one of the reasons that these cars are used, as you said, a sort of a learning category for coming out of karts.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is as well. And I think, to be fair, as a form of, I'm not going to say non-expensive, because all motor racing is expensive in general, right? Let's be real about it, we know that. But I think for a form of cheaper motorsport, maybe this is the way to go for some of those that can't have that big old budgets of getting through into F2s, F3s, F4s, whatever the categories are. And I think this is a good way just to be able to get out there and do some racing.
One of the things about motor racing is as you go up the categories, you just add another 0 on the end of how much it's going to cost you.
Yep. I agree. That's the thing, isn't it? It just goes up and up and up and up and up. These guys have dropped Pocock off a little bit. Pocock's almost a second back now. So Sam Chapman and Caleb Bellick are free to race. Miles Bond's 1.7 up the road. He's only got 4 minutes. That's probably going to be about 3 laps at the most here of this circuit before we're going to come to the end of round 2. Not round 2, the end of race 2, round 5, I should say, here as well. So Miles Bond's just got to hang on for a little bit more. But what about Chapman and Bellick? Are they going to be working together, do we think?
I think Bellick is sitting in behind Chapman at the moment. He's letting Chapman drag him forward. At the moment, Chapman, like Miles Bond did a 19.5 last lap. Chapman did a 19.1. Caleb did a 19 flat. So, these boys, I wouldn't be surprised to see one of them make a move soon. But, give it another lap or two. Probably only got 3 laps in this race left.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be...
So...
What's that? 1 and 1 more want to go over the line, Cowie.
Well, so does Bellick, wait another lap, or does he make his move now and hope that Chapman... We saw that the last lap is the place to be, second, making that move. But at the moment, there's another car out in front of these two that's got a 1.6 second gap. So they...
I agree. I'm wondering, though, if... Sorry?
Yeah, he's staying in the slipstream at the moment, so didn't try to pop out and make a move there. So these two, at least for this lap, are focused on trying to catch Miles out in front.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think they've got enough to do it. I really don't think. I know this complex is quite important here, but I don't think they're going to have enough to do this with Miles Bond the way he's driving up front. You can just about see him there going over the Yokohama Bridge. We're going to have one more lap after this. He's got literally one more lap to hang on to 1.4 seconds. His right leg's twitching. His brow is sweaty. He's vomit on his sweater already. Maybe it's mum's spaghetti, but let's see what he can do here with Miles Bond. Can he take this victory, do we think, here, Cowie? Surely he can, Connie.
He's certainly in the box seat with only one more lap to go. Let's keep an eye out and see if Barney is waving that white flag. I reckon they might be a little bit too early.
No, he is.
No, he is waving it. There it is.
Yeah. 1
lap to go. Miles Bond has only got about 3.5 kilometres to defend here now. Can Bellick and Chapman chase him down? The gap is now 1.1 second, but you'd think with 1 lap to go that should be enough for Miles.
Yeah, he's been around the same lap times, 1:19.6 he did last time. Chapman did a 1:19.1, so half a second quicker. Even if he repeats that process, he's still going to have half a second to play with in hindsight, right? I know I'm a commentator, but I'm pretty sure we can do maths at some point. And obviously he's going to have half a second to play with, so he should make it to the end.
Chapman has broken clear of Caleb, so he can sort of focus on Bond. But yeah, that gap's now down to under a second, but probably, a lap or two too late. Miles Bond has done wonderfully well to control this race from out front.
Yeah, he has, and now here he goes for the final time up through the O'Brien dogleg. We've got one more opportunity to point, shoot, and hope for the best. We have pointed, we have shooted, and we have made it through. It's coming down to half a second. Bond's just got one more corner left. Whoever that back marker is, please remove. Save it there as well. Hold on, it's now going to be Miles Bond. He led from start to finish. 4 places on the first lap. He comes over the line ahead of Sam Chapman, ahead of Caleb Bellick there as well. What about Dave Roberts and Charles Philo, who's going to come out on top of this one? I think it could be Philo there getting the 6th place. I don't think Roberts is going to be close enough. However, he's going to look for the run. Roberts is going to look for the run. How much blocking is Philo going to do? They're going to come down to the line. It is Roberts. Got him at the line. Oh, ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao. So close. And now we've got Burton, of course, who's had a pretty much rotten race too.
But he's got an opportunity here to maybe take one more place. Dean Sinkovich, the man in front of him here. These boys battling hard.
Yeah.
Can Daniel get him?
Do you know what? If I've just watched Roberts go around the outside of Philo, I wouldn't be surprised here as well. But I don't think he's close enough. I think Dan's going to be, unfortunately, where he is here. Sinkovic is going to stay in front of him. Dean Sinkovic
Oh,
there
he's
as
got a
well.
great run.
It's not going to happen. He hasn't got long enough. Nope. Job done. So there we go. Great job from all of these guys as well, and I think we can safely say another epic second race of the night. Let's bring up the results here from this feature race once again, and it was Miles Bond, your winner, with Sam Chapman and Caleb Bellick, your 1, 2, 3. Then we got Scott Pocock in 4th, John Schultz in 5th, Dave Roberts 6th, Chow Philo in 7th, Kevin Wakefield 8th, and Di Feldman in 9th. And Bradley Cheney rounded out the top 10. Graham Dooley, Mike Rush, Dean Sinkovic, Dan Byrne, rotten race 2. Martin Walker, Jackson Domain, Ben Simpson and Stephen Sinkovic there, your final counts on that one. I think some are going to be going away very happy from this, and some are not going to be very happy. I think that's the situation, isn't it, with some of these drivers, about the fact of, obviously, you know, the free wide with Dan Byrne and everything else. It's been a tough one with some of them.
Well, P1 and P3 for Caleb Bellack is probably good enough to take out the round victory. I think it was P6, P1 for Miles Byrne, and Sam Chapman with P3, P2. So I think it's still Caleb's night again. Not as big a points haul over the field as he's picked up in previous weeks, but still walking home with more points than his rivals.
Yeah. There you go. We're going to get some of the people in for a chat here as well. Cowie, I feel like we're going to have a chat with one Mr. Chapman here. I think he's going to be first on our list, as we're going to be doing these driver interviews once more, and we can bring in Sam Chapman into the booth. The man who's had 2 podiums. He's had a 3rd. He's had a 2nd. He got pipped in race 1 just by Dan Byrne. But Sam Chapman, welcome in, buddy. How are you doing?
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I had the wrong button. Yeah, not too bad. Annoyed to be pipped twice, but pretty happy with that all in all. We just faffed around a bit too much in that feature race to get it done.
Yeah, how was it out there on the track with these little cars racing around? Because you was in a nice little battle in race 1. Bellick, you know, Pocock was there as well. What was it like out there?
Oh, it's good out there. It's a great track for these sort of cars because you can really, you know, race them properly. You know, there is that draft aspect, but there's a real sort of pace aspect as well that you need to keep up with, and it's tight. So it works for them really well. It was good fun out there. They were all people pretty courteous tonight. There wasn't too much silliness, which I really expected around Oran Park. So that was good. But yeah, had good racing with all of those guys. Still a little bit of fuel saving that needed to be done, but not as much as previous weeks, I don't think.
Yeah,
that was the real problem, that you weren't that you were P1 on the final lap of race number 1, buddy, and Caleb setting you up with that toe.
Yeah, I thought I'd be able to hold it around the outside, but I just didn't quite grip on that outside of the first corner there. I prefer the outside line of that first corner because you then got the inside for the next one, and you can get quite a decent run out of it. You can't be on the outside of that next right hand. It's impossible. So, yeah, couldn't quite hold it there, and then decided to do a bit of a Hail Mary and throw it around the outside and chucked it wide again and gave away another spot. So, yeah, not the best, but I'm glad we could make it a good battle at the end.
Yeah, it definitely was a good battle there as well. Sam, what do we think with going into next week? Because we're going to another sort of short, sharp, nippy circuit in Summit Point. How's that going to be for you, you reckon?
Yeah, I have a suspicion it's Summit Point Jefferson as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Now that's a tiny little circuit. There's kart circuits that are bigger than that. So that'll be really tricky. Like even in these, it's going to be tough to get an overtake done around there. You still will be able to, but it's not really super easy. It'll be good fun though. It's probably about the right size.
Well, the question is, will you need to use second? Or is that too dangerous?
It probably is I'm just thinking about it, like maybe turn 1, but I can't. I'd say probably likely, to be honest. Second, you're really only using like the tightest of spots. Like I didn't use second tonight. It was probably borderline on some of those corners, but didn't use it because, yeah, even if you do get slightly faster out, that risk is just too high unless you're getting a decent run out of it. The other option is maybe sometimes you'd use it if you're stuck on the inside of one of those tight corners and have to get some drive out where there's a car on the outside. But other than that, I can't see it being used still.
Well, there you go. Sam, thanks so much for joining us here, buddy, and well done on your 2 second places. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
That's all right. No, thank you. Thank you everyone for racing and you guys for broadcasting once again. Hope the kids are right. JP as well.
The boy's all fine now, mate. He's back to making me pull my hair out, so I'm going to presume he's okay.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Okay, good stuff. All right.
All right, man. Take care, Sam. Have a good one, buddy.
Cheers.
All right, next up we'll have a chat with one Mr. Caleb Bellick. He took the victory in race 1. He just couldn't hold on and take the victory in race 2. He tried to come back through on the reverse grid. He just didn't make it there as well. Couldn't get Chapman at the end either, but he did get a 3rd place. Caleb, welcome in.
Yeah, hey JP, hey Cowie. Obviously a great round. Started P4 in the first race, so a little bit of work to do, but managed to get into the lead early, played the fuel games and made it to the end, which is the most important thing, and got the win in that race. Obviously put me on the back foot for the next race, starting from P10, got to deal with all the carnage, get through all the cars, which I feel I did well. Just got unlucky there on lap 2, where I got a bit of a braking in front of me and got damage to the nose, which is why I couldn't keep up with Sam at the end there, and I think that lost me the race.
Oh, I do love it already here, Caleb, coming in with the driver's excuses. Oh, I got damaged, James. Do you think you could have done in general? Sam was quick, wasn't he?
Yeah, Sam has some pace. Obviously, I was able to keep up with him pretty well throughout the race. We've had a couple good battles, but I feel if I honestly didn't have that damage, I would have been there with a good shot for him. Would have had some more battles like we did in the first race.
Do you reckon you would have got Miles Bond, though?
I'm not going to say anything that bold, but I reckon there was a shot.
There was one opportunity, James, and I got damage on my nose. Cowie, any questions for Caleb?
Well, I was just going to say to him, I think you've taken out the round victory again, if my maths is correct, buddy. At the moment, sort of halfway through the season, or just over the hill as far as the season goes, buddy. Are you thinking about the championship yet, or is it still just race by race?
Oh, it's a hard one because obviously, thanks for pointing out that I won the round. It's awesome to take a round win. That's how you win championships, from consistency. So I think there's an element of thinking about the championship, but at the same time, you've just got to take it race by race. There's no point thinking about the next race when you haven't got through the race you're in. So yes and no.
Well, there we go. Let's see how you get on for the rest of the season as well there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let go?
Oh, yeah. SLM Motorsport and Nathan Allen for helping me spot tonight and get me through some of the tough times I had out there on track, and Pioneer DJ.
Awesome stuff. Well, sir, anything else? Or is that?
Oh, well, do you guys want to shout out for commentating? It's always good to have a chat with you, so see you next week, hopefully.
Mate, I always want to shout out. You know what I mean? I'm a needy person like that, You need to shout us out as well, Caleb.
Yeah, I'll remember that.
All right, mate.
Thanks, JP.
No worries, buddy. Have a good one.
Thanks,
buddy.
Hey, Cal, we don't blow. Some people don't blow our trumpets, and we even give it the suggestion. We're never going to get it, are we? You know what I mean? Show some love to your commentators. Right. We do a great job. Right, let's have a chat with Miles Bond here as well. 5th in race 1. He took 4 positions, got into 1st place, ran away with it to a point of where he hit an almost 2.8 second gap. It then came down faster than an elevator with no brakes at Trump Towers because it was rapid. Chapman got nearly there within 0.6 of a second right at the end. Was his knees weak? Was his palms sweaty? Well, let's have a chat with Miles Bond and find out. Miles, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, there was no mum spaghetti, but yeah, I was frustrated from race 1 getting a penalty, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to break out and have a crack all on my own here. And yeah, somehow managed to pull it off because they were coming back. I was trying to. Fuel was obviously an issue, and I think on your own you can be so much slower. So I was having to push super hard, and I was worried about the tyre. But yeah, I managed to sort of just find a sweet spot at sort of 2 seconds or thereabouts, and then yeah, Sam got close at the end, but I'd sort of just had enough. But yeah, it was good.
How close was it?
Oran Park.
Sorry, JP, but Miles, I was going to say to you there, was that the plan sort of early on? You saw that the boys were still battling, so you just tried to check out and get as much of a gap as you could before they'd start working together, chasing you down.
Yeah, it was a plan halfway through race 1 because like rolling around sort of 5 seconds off the pack in race 1 after starting from the pits was frustrating. But I managed to get down to like a 19.2 or something on my own with no draft, and I thought, you know what, I reckon I got the pace. I reckon if I'm in clean air and I can just bang them out, I'll be able to do sort of mid-19s, and I reckon I could break away. But yeah, obviously once I sort of got halfway through, like maybe 10 laps in, I started thinking fuel and tyres. So any time I would put a couple of tenths on them, I'd have a few corners where I'd just take it easy and try and coast through and just save, like 100 mil here and a couple of degrees on the tyres there. And yeah, because I wasn't really getting any benefit with straight line pace, so yeah, it was definitely the plan. I think if I got 3 or 4 laps in and I was only a second in front, then it wouldn't have worked and I would have just fallen back and just enjoyed being in the pack again. But I thought, you know what, if I can pull it out to like 1.5, 2 and just sort of break the toe, I'll just keep my head down and just keep going for it. So yeah, it was interesting. Different way to do it. Not ideal. Like I wouldn't want to be trying to do that every week.
How close was it on fuel?
Well, I coughed all the way here to the line. I'm stalled at the moment, sitting on the grid. So yeah, I was out. Like I crossed the line with, I think, it would have been like 0.15 or 0.2 of a litre.
Oh, right.
But it only takes, it only takes like 0.44 to do a lap. So I thought, you know what, if I can just stick it in third on half throttle, I might get around, and I did. So yeah, it was super tight, but I didn't have to drastically save, even just 1 less litre, I couldn't have done what I did at all. No way.
No.
But then that's not fun either. It's nice to have enough fuel, that sort of opens it up for guys to have a big crack. I think the fuel savings, not ideal. If you're going to do it, just make everyone pit, take another couple of litres out and everyone have a pit stop, or just let us all run flat out, because the tow on these things is crazy. It's crazy good. You wouldn't think it. They don't have, like a big wing or anything to create that bubble, but from sort of a 1.5 seconds back, you just get absolutely pulled in big time.
Yeah. Well, it's all ideas.
So what was it like behind? I didn't see what was happening behind me. So
Dan Byrne had a bit of a rotten race too. He got caught up in an incident at the beginning, but then again, he did go 3 wide round the Yokohama going over the bridge, and then it all went Pete Tong.
Nice.
Then he dropped to the middle, then he dropped to the back after having a third incident, and then unfortunately he sent Steve Sinkovich into the unknown when Steve had spun and Dan had nowhere to go. Caleb Chapman and Pocock were having a nice little tidy battle as well, but to be honest, once they started and you got out to that point, it was done and dusted for you. Surely you could see that you were out at 2.6. You lost probably about 1.3 seconds over the last 2 laps, give or take. You pulled about, I think it was about 5 tenths on one, 5 tenths on the other. So I think at the end of the day, you building that buffer helped you considerably going for it throughout the race, because otherwise you might have been in a lot of trouble come over the last 2 laps.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't have had the tyre, I don't think. And then, chatting to Sam, he said as soon as he got within 1.5, he already started getting towed. So that was why I was trying to keep that 2 minimum, because I knew especially if there was a few of them getting, towing each other, if they had got within 1.5, they would have just pulled me in within 2 laps. They would have had me, I reckon. So, which would have been fine. I would have just cooled off the tyre and then just gone to the back of that group and then regrouped and had another crack. Like, I love racing. That was just a bit of frustration to go, all right, I wonder if I can do 20 minutes qualifying, pretty much is what it was. Just trying to get every lap as quick as I could get it, which was also a nice challenge in itself. But yeah, I love Oran Park. Such a shame that we've lost it. such a cool track. You know, some people don't like it, but man, it's these tracks that real world racing. You know, these are awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a real shame.
Yeah, it is. It's now a housing estate, mate. So, there we go.
It is.
Yeah,
Lots of houses.
Yeah, lots of houses. Miles, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go, buddy?
No, look, just you guys. Hey, I hope you boys are all right from the other week, and yeah, all the other drivers for having a good on-track battle for the most part, and Pace Syndicate, my race team. Those boys, there was a few of us in here tonight, and yeah, we like to go and do different hosted leagues as groups, because yeah, probably the best thing about the iRacing platform or just online racing is just hanging out with your mates online, having a good chat. Like that whole race, we were just absolutely laughing and making jokes, and I was trying to concentrate and it was getting hard. It's probably what happened at the end. There was some pretty rude jokes going around and I couldn't concentrate very well, but yeah, it's definitely, you know, a great space for people to go and hang out with other guys online and girls and enjoy the racing as well. So yeah, shout out to Pace.
Awesome stuff, well, mate. Thank you very much for that. My boy is okay. He's making me pull my hair out again, so I'm pretty sure he's back to normal.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? So
That's
there
so
we go.
good. Cool.
Yeah, cheers, Miles, for that one, buddy.
worries.
Have a good one, and congratulations on
No
your race
worries.
win.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Well, there you go, Cowie. 3 drivers that seem happy with where they were, but happy with the racing and happy on how they got on here tonight. The thing is, I didn't really see the contact with Bellick, so maybe we missed it, but he did say it was a slight little bit of damage to the nose, but I couldn't see anything on his car. But look, hey, we weren't in the car there, Cowie, but overall, another successful evening of racing.
Yeah, look, I mean, the thing is, these guys, you know, they're trying for the tiny little bits of advantages are what's making that toe work for them on the last lap. You could see them positioning the cars, trying to put themselves into that position to be there for the end of it. And we keep seeing the same names near the top, the Caleb Bellocks, the Sam Chapmans, you know, those guys, you know, have got the down to a T at the moment. But racing close, it does create little bits of contact, and you know, it is what it is. Daniel Byrne's seen the wrong side of that over the last few rounds, but you know, again, we know that he's got pace and he'll be back up the front next week battling again.
Absolutely. Well, Cowie, I think that's going to bring this one to an end, and I think you can safely say it has been absolutely awesome up here as well at Oran Park, which is no longer there, unfortunately, as well. Just hope some kids are racing around the streets in some soapboxes or the Red Bull carts that you make up as you go along, and have some great fun there as well. But that's going to round it out here as well. This has been the SRWtv Motorsport Australia Formula V Nationals Round 5 from Oran Park. I've been James JP Parfitt alongside Andrew Cowan here. And as always, guys, as we always say here, take care, have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.
To total one, this is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down to the hill. Sam Noble wants to slip on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because, tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from